Okay. Sounds on. We're live? All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Vision Night 2021. I'm Pastor Mike. We have got an amazing night planned, a night full of celebration, a night full of vision for the future, and a lot of fun mixed in. In fact, let's go ahead and have a giveaway right out of the gate. That's right. Hopefully you guys are watching online, following along with the chats. You are free to chat in there all you'd like. In fact, the first person who in the chat can type in the street address of Paradox Church, you're going to get a $5 Starbucks gift card right now. That's right. Put it in. If you're right, the lovely April is taking care of all the admin stuff. So she's watching our chats. In fact, all of us here in the room, the pastoral team, the LMT, several of the church leaders are here in the room to answer your chats, to follow along, and to present with you on stage. Speaking of giveaways and speaking of having fun, some of you saw this, I said earlier on Facebook today. We're going to play another little game throughout the night. It's called G-G-G-G-G-G. It's like bingo, but with all G's. Why all G's? Because tonight we are talking about how God wants us to connect. And here at Paradox Church, we've identified 5 different ways we do that. And they all start with G because Dave's our pastor, and that's how it goes. So we invite you to make for yourself a bingo-type card at home. It's simple. Just put in 25 boxes, a 5x5 grid, and go ahead right now at the beginning of tonight to just start to fill in phrases, words, things you think you might hear tonight. Like, for example, and you can put this in the free spot in the middle, the word connect. You're going to hear the word connect a bunch tonight. There, I said it once. Your free space is covered. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper, make yourself a bingo card, follow along, listen close. The first 3 people who text into the chat their 5 in a row that they got, you are going to get yourself a gift card as well. And do another favor for us, because this will be fun. Take your bingo card when you're done at the end of the night, and all of you, whether you want or not, take a picture and post it on the Facebook page or send it in to info@paradoxchurch.com. Email it to us. We'd just like to see it. It would be super fun. All right, I'm going to get into it. We're going to hum along here. One thing I want to point out, you are going to hear several times from all our presenters tonight, and that's about the Church Center app. You've probably heard us talking about it ever since the beginning of January, and that's because we're switched to a new church database platform, and it's not just a matter of, well, a database. That sounds boring. There's so much more that this platform offers us. And through the Church Center app that hopefully you've downloaded on your phone or that you will soon, you have access to all of the upcoming events. You can register for church and any other event. You have access to giving online. You have access to your small groups now. We added that feature. So all of these things are there. You're going to be hearing the different presenters talk about it all throughout tonight, and that's just because we want you to connect and support. We are not going to take time to go through how to download it and how to use it tonight, but if you have any questions about that, we want to answer them. We want to hear from you. If you're here at church on Sunday, come on down to the hub. Myself, April, the staff at the hub, we are there and ready to help you get this app on your phone and show you how to use it. If you want me or someone to call you and lead you through it, just email info@paradoxchurch.com, and we will connect with you in that way and do that. All right, as I mentioned, we have several presenters tonight. In fact, we have 7. We have 5 G's at Paradox that we're gonna use to kind of guide our discussion tonight and look into the vision. 5 different ways that we believe God has us connect to Him, to this community, and outside of our walls. We have 7 presenters because we're splitting up some of those. And I know what you're thinking. Just hold on, don't run away yet, because some of you are like, whoa, 7 people are going to talk? This is a Wednesday night. Don't worry. In fact, we've got a fun, exciting way to keep us all on task, myself included being one of the presenters. We have some winter-themed punishments for those presenters who go over their allotted time. Yes, and you, our audience online, are going to get to choose the punishment for the presenters. Like, you could give, these are all winter-themed, you could give them the blizzard. They're going to get something not fun blown in their face. You could give them, this is a good old-fashioned one. This is the face wash. They can get a cream pie to the face. Maybe they'll have to do the toboggan run where they're going to have to pull someone on the sled out of the auditorium around and back in. Trust me, it's not easy. Or they might have to wear the frosty face. That's right, for the whole rest of the evening, they'll have to wear the lovely frosty face. Or my personal favorite, maybe they'll have to drink a nice, what's better on a winter day than a nice, beautiful cup of not cocoa? Yes, not cocoa. It's not cocoa. You do not want to drink that. Anyway, that's what we've got lined up. We are so excited for that tonight. And as Pastor Dave is going to make his way up to the stage, I just want to say, like I said, one of the things we're going to do tonight is celebrate. So I want you to go ahead and watch this video that we've put together to show a little bit about how we're going to celebrate what happened, what God did here at Paradox in 2020.
The World Health Organization, the state of Michigan, and the city of Warren have all recommended that no public gatherings of over 100 people be held, and that obviously affects our Sunday gatherings here at Paradox.
Hey church family, in 2020, Paradox Church was able to raise enough money to support 3 children in the Kanji orphanage in India.
Thank you so much for your love, your prayers, and all your support. May you have a blessed 2021. We love you.
Y'all.
Well, good evening, everyone. I don't know about you. I get emotional watching all of that. It was a tough year, but it was also a pretty amazing year. God has done some amazing things over the last year, and we got to see a glimpse of that, of everything that we experienced together, everything that we went through together. We truly are better together in all of this. And as I looked at those pictures, I was just reminded of so many of the things that God has done and that we have done together. We've continued to hold our gatherings over the last year. Yes, they looked very, very different than what we thought they might, but there was still, our average is 143 when we've had physical gatherings. We went up to hundreds at one point of people joining us online. God has grown our reach and our influence in ways that we couldn't have ever imagined or dreamed possible in the year 2020. We've also seen our social media followings grow, and we want to continue over the next year to press into that and continue to reach new people that perhaps would not ever come to Paradox. We want to make sure that we are going, making disciples, reaching those that are far from God, and helping them become fully devoted followers of Jesus as well. I think about some of the good times that we've had, especially our Come Together 1-year anniversary. That was a huge celebration for a church that has truly come together as 2 churches, now 1, and now is 1 church on mission for God in our area and to the ends of the earth. But we didn't stop there. We also have seen so many people take next steps, getting involved, growing in their faith, connecting in groups, even through a global pandemic, which the world has never even really seen or experienced before. We have 11 small groups that are meeting, that we're caring for people, that are communicating, that are still just connecting with others and making sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. That is a huge win. We also managed to take 23 for our first training camp, which is a discipleship training school, and then have a second one all in the year of 2020. And 13 students have said yes, stepped up into that. 36 people have said yes to training camp this year, and we're so excited about everything that God is doing in their lives and through them as we train up these leaders and disciple makers to be church planners, missionaries, leaders in our church and in their sphere of influence. When it comes to, Mike was talking about these 5 G's. We have our connection with God and our connection to others in groups as we grow. There's also giving. And man, it was a tough year, 2020. But I just want to say, it's a celebration. We're still here. We made it. It was close sometimes. It was never comfortable, but we are here, and together we have pulled through. We've made it, and not just made it. We didn't just look out for ourselves through this pandemic paradox, and that's why I'm just so proud of what God has done in us. We gave about $10,000 outside of our walls over the course of this pandemic, and that's not even counting all the countless people that have said yes, stepped up, volunteered, served, and you've done it cheerfully, and it's just been awesome. We've given that to church planting, benevolence funds, which are just Paradox Cares, people that are here in our church that are hurting, that are in need of help. There was the Frontline Appreciation, where we came together as a church family and gave money towards those that are serving at local hospitals on the front lines. We partnered with businesses, EO's Cafe, Johnny Z's Pizza, to provide meals and just say thank you. We had the Giving Tree with Central Detroit Christian just this past Christmas. Cans for Cans now and Forgotten Harvest that has started. The KMG Orphanage in India. So many things that God has done through your partnership and your generosity, even in the midst of a crazy, uncertain global pandemic. And we didn't stop there. We also said yes, we took steps, and we went. That's that 5th G, is going. World Mandate, yeah, it seems like forever ago, but that was in 2020. There were 240 people here for a conference where we said, yes, sign me up. God, wherever you want me to go, I am willing, send me. We started Go Days. We have started partnering with some local partners on some amazing things, and we're excited to grow into those things here in 2021. In so many ways, 2020 was a year of loss. It was hard. There was some mourning involved. I like to think of 2020 as a Gideon year. And if you're familiar with the story of Gideon, God called him to do something that seemed impossible. And then he started saying, but you got too much. You've got too many people. There's going to be less. You need fewer. You need to trust me more. You're going to have to depend on me. And there was less and less and less and less. And I feel like we've lived that. That's been our reality. But in the midst of all that, God was glorified, and he was seen as good. And now, as we turn the page on 2020 and headed to a new season, I just want to share with you, 2021 is a Joshua year. I believe that God has brought us to a place where he is saying, I want you to take some ground. I want you to take the land. Joshua 1:3 has been something that's really been speaking to me over the last months or so. When God says to Joshua, every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, just as I promised Moses. And there is a confidence in that call where God is saying, listen, I just want you to look to me, follow me, continue to say, I want you more than anything. And as you do, as you look to me, I'm going to give you the places that you're going. So this year we're talking about taking the land. And as I look over the pages of Joshua, we're going to read this together as a church coming up here in the next month or so. But all throughout Joshua, there are these opportunities where the people are led to take the land. It starts with Jericho in Joshua 6. And what I love about that is that there's not any particular strategy. As we were thinking and praying about what to share with you here tonight, there were so many more things that we wanted to say with much more concrete detail. But if 2020 has taught us anything, is that we don't know. There's so much that we don't know. Even if we pretend to know, even if we plan, we just don't know those things. And what God has showed us over the course of the last year is that is okay. Even as we are led to take the land, the Israelites went to Jericho and they weren't handed a great strategy. God said, walk around this place and pray, worship, and I'll do the rest. There is something to simply trusting God as we worship and as we pray, and that is one of the things that we're committed to as we go into 2021. We're going to take the ground, but we're going to stay in step with God, and this is going to be a year of prayer like no other, and I'm so excited about that. That is actually where the ground is really taken, and as we walk out those things that God gives us in prayer, he says, and now you see it. Now it's given to you. Here's the other thing. In Joshua 10, there is a prayer that the sun would actually stand still. And God says, yes, I've given you this battle, and I'm going to make the sun stand still for it. When we're praying, God is going to give us big dreams, impossible dreams. And he's inviting us to dream some new things, big things that seem impossible, but in him they are yes. And so I want to invite us all to be praying. What is it? As Jesus says in Matthew chapter 20, what do you want me to do for you? Have we even stopped to say, what does success look like? What are the dreams that God has planted in our heart? That's why we've been doing the dreams campaign, to say, God, what are your dreams? If you've got dreams for Warren, for Detroit, for the nations, dream them through us. We're going to dream big dreams. We're going to fight hard battles. Time after time, all throughout Joshua, the Israelites are led to a place where they had to decide, what are we going to fight for? Do we believe God? Are we willing to fight? And again, 2020 has brought us to a place where conviction has been brought up in our hearts over certain things, certain areas, racial reconciliation, marriages, reaching our neighbors, those that are far from God, prayer. There are things that we're going to have to fight for. Yes, even gathering as a church, we may need to fight for things. And God is leading us to a place where he's saying, yes, I want you to take the land, but you're going to have to fight some hard battles. And then lastly, in Exodus 17, Joshua is fighting a battle for Moses. And Moses is up, and he's standing. You may have heard this story before. He's holding up his arms so that the Israelites and Joshua would win the battle, and he needs help. And Aaron and Hur, they come, and they stand alongside him, and they raise up his arms, and they give him a place to sit. We're going to dream big dreams, Paradox. We're going to fight hard battles, but we also know that we need to hold each other up. We need community. We need to stay connected now more than ever. And so it's not just what do we want to do, what are we dreaming, and what are we willing to fight for, but it's who's in it with us. Are we watching together? Are we worshiping together? Are we living and dreaming together? Who's in it with us? And then finally, in Joshua 3 and 24, he says, listen, it really comes down to this. If we're going to take the land, you're going to need to choose today who you're going to serve. Just like when all of this began and they had to step into the Jordan River before it parted and they were able to walk into the land God had given them, some of us need to decide that this is the year that we're going to take a step. This is the year that we're going to put some action to it. This is the year that we're going to trust God in that area, that hard area, that impossible area. And we're going to take a step to see God give us the land, because you can't take the land without taking a step. Tonight, as our management team, our LMT, and the staff come up, which, by the way, I have been so thankful for the ways that they have walked with me personally, held up my arms, and prayed for, loved, and served all of you over the course of the past year. We have an amazing leadership team, an amazing staff in Mike and Greg and Rory and Tim, Holly and Liz, McCare, April, so many people that are doing so much wonderful things, and we're so thankful for every one of them. So tonight, as each of them come up, share with you, I want to encourage you. They're going to give you a step, and maybe God is going to say something to you in what they're sharing and say, that's the step. That's yours. I just want to encourage you. Will you take that tonight? And now I am sure that Mike is going to come up and dole out a punishment for me, because I have to be over 5 minutes.
So I feel like you tricked me. I feel like you tricked everyone, sidestepped the whole thing. You were going to do an intro, and then you were going to talk about how we connect with God. You merged it all together. He didn't follow the rules. I feel like he should get a punishment for not following the rules. But yes, because clearly you were over regardless.
I don't know if that's clear.
I didn't even get a chance to start the amazing timer because I didn't see that clear break.
So I don't know what kind of facts you're basing this on, but it looks to me like I have 5 minutes.
I don't know. I think we should go to the people. What do the people online think? Should Dave get a punishment, or should we let him off? We're watching your streams right now in the chats, and we will go.
I don't think
off
we
of
have
what
time
you
for all of
say.
this, Mike. We really need to move
We've got time
along.
for this. No, that's okay. Let's see what the people say. Dave, I see pie in the face. April, remind them what the punishments are. We've got the blizzard, the pie in the face, the not cocoa. Maybe he wants to pull someone on a sled. Let's see, what do we got here, real quick?
I really don't.
Oh, you're lucky.
It looks like pie in the face is the big winner.
Is pie in the face the big winner? All right, let's do it. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, this is getting gross. All right, let's give a countdown. Ready? 3, 2. Ta-da! Everyone, Dave Kubiak. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As Dave aptly shared with us, this is going to be a year where we are going to, this was a bad spot for me to put the pie in the face, as we've got pie on the stage. This is going to be a year where we are going to go after connection with God through His Word, through prayer. As we're establishing, I shouldn't say once we, as if it's an additive thing. As we're working to establish a connection with God, we have to realize that we weren't put here on this earth to live alone. God didn't create separate worlds for each of us. He put us here together because He wants us to connect to Him in community together. Rory is going to come up next, and he's going to talk a little bit about our next G, which is going after connection in groups. Take it away.
Groups. Whoa. Wow, this is loud. This melted into like straight up milk. There's milk all over the stage.
Your clock is running.
That's fine. All right. So I'm here to talk to you about groups and more specifically stepping up into connection. Like Mike said, our as human beings, as followers of Christ, it's more than just showing up on a Sunday morning or staying at home and reading your Bible. There's a relational piece to following Jesus. And we believe here at Paradox that in 2020, God really highlighted the importance of our small groups. He spoke to a lot of our leadership staff, which led to, like Dave said, in the ballpark of 100 people being in small groups. We had 11 different small groups happening over the course of 2020, and also our training camp that happened. 36 people within the last year have gone through our training camp. What we're asking this year, it's not an ask. This is more of a challenge. God is calling some of you to take that exact same step in 2021. And to give you a little bit of vision for the future, some of the things that we're really hoping and praying through is this idea that God's going to take our small groups and spread them out all over the Metro Detroit area. My wife and I, we live up in Richmond, which is nowhere near Warren, but our call and what we feel like we're supposed to be doing is having a small group that is Paradox specific for the north end of Macomb County. Some of you, I know, live in North Oakland County. Some of you live in Wayne County. Some of you live right here in the heart of Warren. But regardless, God is calling us into community, and I know that this is something that He's calling you into as well because you're a follower of Jesus and you belong in community just like everybody else. So, what this looks like, it can be a few different ways. This is stressful.
You're doing great.
This is stressful.
You're doing great.
God can call us into community in a multitude of different ways. One of those ways is actually stepping up and into one of our already existing small groups. If that's you, on a Sunday morning, reaching out to us via email, or quite honestly, I'm sure even on the thread, if that's something that you're interested in, stepping into a small group, something that God's calling you into, absolutely comment even on the comments below, because there's people that are in small groups, that lead small groups, that are watching this now, and they want to know who's interested as well. So if you can, if that's you, put I'm interested in joining a small group and kind of give us an idea of where you even live. If it's Roseville, put Roseville. If it's North Macomb, put North Macomb. We want to see that. We want to see where our community exists. In addition to that, if you're somebody who's like, I don't know what this whole small group thing is all about, here's the amazing thing about being in Macomb County. I don't know why I said Macomb County. Here's the amazing thing about being a part of our church. We have a multitude of different people who are interested in a multitude of different things. We don't want to just be taking people and sticking them into a small group just to see a small group grow. What we want to do is we want to take people who have similar interests as well and create more small groups. So if that's you as well, we want to know about it. If you're a person who enjoys going fishing, if you're a person who enjoys hunting or sports or just hanging out with a bunch of guys or girls, for example, I don't know what you guys do, but there's options for you too. We want to know what those things are so that we can get you connected with people who think, act, and do the similar things to you. Lastly, and I think that this is one of the most important things, here at Paradox, we're very passionate not just about connecting people with Jesus, but connecting people who are leaders to leading people to know Jesus. That is what our training camp here is all about. We want people to step into training camp, not just learn how to grow closer in their relationship with Jesus, but to step into the leadership skills that God has given them and use them to conquer the world, to know that there is a God who absolutely adores them and wants to know them, and to lead those people closer to Jesus so they can continue doing the same thing. If there's, if that's you, if you're considering, if at all, the idea of coming into our training camp, I highly, highly suggest, at the very least, sitting down and hearing a little bit more about it. I went through it a few years ago, and my gosh, let me tell you, it changed my life, it changed my marriage, it changed my interactions with my kids, but more importantly, it put me on a trajectory to be a person who's passionate about seeing Jesus come into this world and people taken over, their hearts taken over for Jesus. So, yes, we're passionate about being connected in groups, and we want you to be a part of those same connections. 28 seconds.
Wow, with 27
That was
seconds
great.
left to spare. Rory, well done, my friend.
Thank you.
You did awesome. Thank you, sir. You can
Yep.
leave the stage. Dave, thank you for cleaning up the pie on the stage. All right, he did it. 27 seconds left. And as Rory said, this maybe is the year where you get connected in a group. If you want to do that, there's several ways to do it. The best way is to get to that Connect card. The Connect card you can always find on Paradox's main page. You can also find it on the Church Center app. That's right. I told you I was going to be talking a lot about the Church Center app. If you go there, you can see right on the main page there's a link to the Connect card. We've also added a tab on the bottom for groups. You can scroll through and you can see what groups are here at Paradox Church. That's going to be continuing to be built out, but as of now, you can at least see the locations and times and places where groups are meeting and what groups are available. And the main thing, though, is fill out that Connect card. That'll get you in touch with me. I'll have a talk with you. If you've got any questions about groups, I want to reach out to you. All right, so we're connecting with God, we're connecting with each other in groups, but we also, Jesus talks about not foregoing gathering together. So we're going to invite Liz and Holly up one at a time. Liz, I think Holly's going first? Holly's going first. They're going to talk about gatherings, first for our kids and then for our adults.
Here we go. Wow, there I am. Well, hey everyone, we're so excited that you guys are here. I'm Holly, the Journey Director, and I am so excited to say that Journey is finally opening back up. It has been a long wait, but we are truly pumped. Starting this Sunday, we get to open our doors again. And truly, I just want to take a moment to say why. We get to open our doors because volunteers said yes to coming back. And to serving your kids and serving the families here at Paradox. I think we had 32 volunteers who said, yes, in this season, I will serve kids and families. And if you are one of them, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are the reason why we get to open our doors. So we are so excited. We are opening up with 2 classrooms. So if I'm talking to any families here, here's a couple things that you need to know for this coming Sunday as we open up. We are opening up an early childhood classroom, which is going to be toddlers 1 year to 5 years old through preschool, and then we'll have our elementary classroom, so kindergarten through 5th grade. We are starting small right now because we want to stay open. The truth is we are also starting small because that's the number of volunteers that we have right now. It is our hope and it is our dream to be able to open up all of our classrooms, and it's going to take 16 more volunteers to get there. So we are believing God that He wants Journey fully open. We are believing God that He wants kids ministry to exist here at Paradox because we believe in kids ministry. There's a quote or a statistic that has been rocking my world lately, and it's this: 64% of people who call themselves followers of Christ come to know Jesus before the age of 18. And I feel like God has given me that statistic, honestly, just to fuel my fire. Dave said it he said it recently, to breathe fresh wind into me. So I hope that encourages you that why kids ministry matters, why it's important for us to gather as kids and in small groups, and why it's important for you parents to lead your kids at home and to talk about Jesus and to read the Bible. So one other side note thing for starting Restarting Journey is we are asking that all kids ages 2 and up and volunteers that you would wear masks on Sunday morning, and also that you would register early in the week to save your spot, because like we said, we're only opening up 2 classrooms, and so there are limited spots available, and we want to make sure that you save your spot. So you can do that by going to the Church Center app, and you can save your spot there. Whew, okay, and one last thing, super excited about this. I just want to throw this while I get the chance to have the mic. Just want to throw this date out there for you guys. Last year, with 2020 and all the craziness of COVID, we were not able to have Vacation Bible School. But this year, we're going for it, and we are so excited. We do not want to miss Vacation Bible School. All the weeks leading up to it, it's totally not my favorite, but you won't think it's my favorite because I'm stressed out. However, I really do mean it when I say it is the best week ever. And so I just want you guys to save the date, June 21st through 24th. If you are a family, if you have kids, save the date now. Start inviting your friends. Or if you want to volunteer, if you want to be a part of planning, those meetings are going to start soon. So we want you to save the date. We're looking forward to it. We cannot wait for VBS 2021.
Wow.
I did it.
McDonald's, keeping it timely. Awesome. Well done. No punishments to dole out. All right, instant giveaway time. If the first person to chat in the percentage of people who come to know the Lord before age of 18, Holly said it, the first person to send that percentage, you will also get yourself a $5 Starbucks gift card. Thank you very much. And as promised, Liz is now going to come up and talk to us about the adult gathering, celebrations from last year, and what we can look forward to.
That's right.
And I'm going to grab my glasses so I can actually read things.
Okay. Well, yes, I'm Liz Holland. I'm the Creative Arts and Worship Director here at Paradox. And I just want to say we have the cool opportunity. Our teams have always gone above and beyond, taking what the pastoral team has prayed about and really felt like God has brought to their hearts to share with our church, and really just took that and made it engaging and impactful in ways that through video, through worship, through so many artistic ways on Sunday mornings, we get the cool opportunity to do that. Well, I just wanted to brag on our team. As many of you obviously know, in March, early March of 2020, we went into a nationwide shutdown, and within the span of less than a week, we found out that every tool that we normally use to do all of those things was pretty much taken away from us, and we were going to have to try to figure out how to make Sunday mornings happen without any of those things. And I am just so impressed how our teams came together. They not only did what we normally do on a Sunday morning, but they brought some fresh creativity. We had Scuba Steve and all his adventures each week for our morning announcements. We had Brian Hilton, who is our video director and our photographer, just really digging in and editing these services that probably took hours and hours each week. And we also had so many more of the team just pouring in time and energy to make sure that we still were able to do what we do on Sunday mornings. Now, all that being said, we still have some dreams and excitement that we want to bring to you guys in 2021. We have some cool ways that we still want to do that, and all the things that we learned from 2020, we are going to get to share with you in 2021. Things that allow us to do nights like tonight. We had to rush and we had to learn things on the fly, and now we have the beauty of being able to use what we learned to reach more people. And our goal and our mission here at Paradox is to reach people that are far from God and lead them to be fully devoted followers of Jesus. So we get to use what we learned to do that in a way that we've never done before. One of those ways is church online. Normally we stream our services on Facebook, but we have an opportunity to use a different avenue to just reach more people through social media and through our online audience, and we really want to strive to do that as often as we can. We also are really excited. The one thing that I want to do, looking at, I got 2.5 minutes. I can go for a while. One thing I really want to challenge you guys is invite. And it doesn't matter how you watch our services. If you watch our services online or if you're coming in person, we really want to challenge you guys to invite people to come and join you as you do that. we are prepared as a team, as a creative team and a production team, to provide more opportunities for reaching people that need to hear the message of Jesus, even if that means multiple services. And in fact, I would go as far to say is we hope that it means multiple services in the year 2021. We want to have more opportunities to continue to do what we do and to reach people that are far from Jesus. So I think that's it.
Wow, fantastic. You even caught me off guard. I thought I had another minute to prepare something. That's fantastic. Let me just echo that. And Liz already said it, but man, last year her team just did an amazing job. Like the decisions to meet in the parking lot were like that. Let's do parking lot, and they made it happen, and it's awesome. And to go back to what Rory said and kind of pull those pieces together, it's God has us connecting with Him in person, through prayer, through His Word, through His Holy Spirit. He has us connecting in groups and gathering, right? But in so many different ways. And no more, not that it ever was, but no more can church ever just be coming together on a Sunday morning. God is calling us to connect with Him and each other in so many awesome ways. So we're connecting with Him, we're connecting in groups, we're gathering on a Sunday morning, so God, groups, gathering. When you're in a relationship with someone, it's a give and take. A good relationship, a good healthy relationship has give and take. God is a giver. He gives to us lavishly, and He has as a church and as people. But in a good relationship, when we want a relationship with God, we're invited to give back. Pastor Greg is going to come up, and then Tim is going to follow him up, and they're going to talk a little bit about our fourth G, which is giving.
Hey, Paradox. So glad to be with you here tonight. So 2020 was obviously an incredible year for so many reasons, and it definitely presented a lot of economic challenges to so many people and so many families. And when it affects families, that means it also affects the church in a lot of ways. So every January, we always give an update financially. We go into some of the details, usually with you here in person, and present all that information. I'm going to really quickly, especially because I'm on a timer here, share some of the highlights with you in 2020. It was actually I actually have pretty exciting news to share with you. 2020 was a year where we set out with a Dreams campaign in March, just a few days before COVID really broke out here in Metro Detroit and across America. And we said, what would it look like for us to become completely debt-free 12 months from now? What would it look like for us to pay off all of our debt, be completely debt-free, and to move into 2021 in a really healthy financial position? And so that 12 months is coming up to a close here pretty soon, over the next month or two. And it's been amazing to see how faithful God has been to our church through our people over the last year. So in 2020, our giving, just our general offerings from all of the generous people like you who call Paradox home, was even from 2019. In other words, we did not see any sort of drop in our giving in 2020, which is pretty incredible. If you can make it through 2020, if you can weather that storm, I think that says a lot. And God was faithful to us through that whole season. In addition to that, He has helped us raise a serious amount of money, about $35,000 towards our Dreams campaign to help pay off debt. And that means over the next month or two, if we can come up with an additional $20,000, we're going to have 100% of our debt paid off. And we believe that we're going to get there. We believe that He's going to make it happen in this final 60 days. So we're excited to share that with you. To incentivize you a little bit and to make this fun, if you give $100 to our Dreams campaign over the course of the next 2 months, we're going to send you an album that was created by our worship team here at Paradox. They went through and looked at all their best hits from the last year, created an album that we're going to send to you free of charge. And we also have an awesome t-shirt that we're going to send to you, a No Perfect People Allowed t-shirt that we will share with you. If you make a donation of $100 over the next 60 days, we're going to be tracking that, and we're going to send you those gifts just as a token of our appreciation for all that you're doing for our church. The reality is our church is full of so many generous people in so many different ways. But I want to take a moment to say thank you so much to those of you who are giving financially to the church, who are being faithful with what God has given you. It's certainly a difficult thing to do. It's not natural to give away what we've worked so hard for, but we really believe that what is ours is not really ours, it's God's. And when you give back to God and you give back to the church with faith, It just does something in your own psyche, in your own, there's a paradigm shift that happens there. It changes your perspective, and it's just a very freeing experience. And so I want to encourage you to keep pursuing God, keep pursuing generosity in your own life. We are so thankful for it here at Paradox. It is truly changing everything that we're able to do here. One other big change, as Mike mentioned, we've got the Church Center app. We are totally changing all of our online giving. So historically, we've used a program called Simple Give. And Simple Give has been an awesome partner of ours for the last 10 years. They've managed all of our online giving. But now that we're moving to Church Center, there's a whole streamlined process where everything is going to be all on the same platform. It's going to make our lives a lot easier on the back end. And through the process of going with Church Center, we were able to negotiate down our rate. So anytime, obviously, you make a donation, there's a service fee. So we were able to drop our rate by about 1%, which is pretty significant when it comes to service fees. So that's going to translate to about a $3,000 savings for us here at Paradox over the course of the next year. So that means if you're giving online, if you've got a recurring gift set up, you can go on to Simple Give and you can cancel that donation, and then you can go over to Church Center and re-enlist a new recurring donation on the website. And if you're going on for a one-time gift, instead of going to Simple Give, we would encourage you to go to Church Center. You can download the Church Center app. You can email info@paradoxchurch.com, and they can provide a lot more information as well. That's going to be happening over the course of the next month or two, so it's not something you have to do right now, but if you've got a free minute, go ahead and do that. We'd love to see that transition happen nice and smooth and easy. And of course, if there's questions, you can let us know. Oh, man.
Wow. Cutting it close.
Amazing. I actually have one more thing to say, so I don't know if you want to go back.
You better be quick.
Layla, Judah, Sean, go brush your teeth.
All right. 3 kids, 3 seconds. That was fantastic. I do want to clarify one thing. Greg said a donation of $100, I'll add or more. Donation of $100 or more gets you that exclusive.
We will not cut you off at $100.
Right. It gives you that exclusive first thing. Thanks, man. All right. Before Tim comes up, I want to point out 2 things. Actually, I want to backtrack on myself for a minute. I should have mentioned this at the very beginning, but I definitely want you to hear it now. We welcome and want to answer all of your questions. If you have any questions along the way about anything, please add them to the chat. We're here in the room. Maybe it's a question we can answer right away through the chat. Maybe it's a question that involves a little bit more elaborate answer. We welcome those too. In interest of time, we're going to take those questions at the very end and do a Q&A session at the end with your tougher questions. But keep those questions flowing through the chat as the night goes on. All right, I'm going to welcome my friend Tim Lopp to the stage, and he's going to continue to talk to us a little bit more about giving.
All right. Thanks, Mike. I feel like a bad person. I was both worried for Greg and also wanted to see him get punished, so didn't know which way to go there. But as Greg mentioned, giving of your finances is very important, but here at Paradox, we also feel there's other ways to give, and I want to talk a little bit about volunteering. And we think giving of your time, giving of your effort is another way to get involved here, show your faithfulness, and get and stay connected. Most people that volunteer end up staying in church, end up developing a community of friends and family here at the church that gets them further entrenched. So we think volunteering is very important. So first off, I want to thank all of our volunteers that we have here. There's so many great people that keep this machine running. A lot of folks have no idea what it takes to get a Sunday morning accomplished, and we have it seemingly seamless each week, where it happens where a lot of folks just come in, sit down, and really may not truly appreciate all the effort that people take to make this feel like home on a Sunday morning. There's 2 groups that I really want to focus our appreciation on. First is the creative team. Through this pandemic, it's been crazy if you think about it. We've had church in our living rooms, in the woods, in the parking lot, in basements, and campgrounds, here in the auditorium with people and without people. And the creative team has just done an amazing job leading us in worship, pulling all of those things off, expanding our reach online through Facebook and through Paradox.com, and all of those places that before March we might have had our toes dipped in a little bit, but now have just become so much more a part of our normal Sunday morning. So really want to thank the creative team and everything they've done there. Also our frontline team, the folks that are here Sunday morning and have made this transition into this pandemic more possible and making it a safe place for us to come to on a Sunday morning. creating an environment with the reservations that we now have to go through, checking people in on a Sunday morning, the wristbands, and still welcoming and making it feel like a comfortable environment and a place where you feel safe, but you still want to come and worship and enjoy your Sunday morning experience. So our frontline team, our creative team, they've just done a fantastic job this year, and we really appreciate you guys for everything that you've done. So for other folks that may not be serving or may not be volunteering at this point, now's the time to get involved. Like I said, volunteering is an important part of service and an important part of your relationship with Christ. You find that the people that get involved with these volunteer teams, they just seem to always do a little bit more than you think, and they get themselves entrenched and they get themselves caring about people and doing things for God and for their fellow churchgoers that you just really don't think you're capable of doing, but all of a sudden you find yourself doing more and more of it. So I just want to encourage folks to get involved. So if you're interested in serving, fill out a Connect card, go to the church app that Mike talked about in reference, find the Connect card, fill it out, tell us what your interests are, or just say, hey, I'm interested in giving of my time, and we'll reach out and find a place for you. For those that are already serving, what can you do more? Find out how to maybe take a step into leadership, take a step into running some of these groups or assisting folks in these different areas. There's plenty of opportunities: clean team, handyman team, parking lot, house of prayer, care team, cafe, all these things that are seemingly behind the scenes but so important to make our Sunday morning and our week go well. So reach out, fill out the Connect card, get involved. If you are involved, get more involved, find out a way to take a little bit bigger step with your walk with Christ. That's it. Did I make it?
You made it, man. You
It's
did it.
nerve-wracking.
You did it. Fantastic. All right. Thanks, Tim. All right. I'm wondering how those bingo cards are coming. I just scrolled through the chat. I didn't see anyone give the 5 words yet. So hopefully you are still engaged in that. It's not too late. In fact, we've got a little bit left. In fact, we have Dave coming up to close us out, so you know there's lots more words coming. So feel free to put that bingo card together. You could win yourself a valuable prize. I do want to add one thing that I was supposed to mention earlier, so shame on me, maybe I need a penalty. After Holly and Liz talked about gatherings of our adults, gatherings of our kids, I was going to take a minute and share with you a little bit about the gatherings for our teenagers, our students. And I just want to let you know that Revolution Student Ministries is alive and strong. Just this Monday night, we had 20 students here. It was great. We were right here in the auditorium, had a lesson. We played this live Among Us game. It's an online game the kids love. It was so much fun. We see God moving through the lives of these teens. Great questions being asked to our small group leaders. If you have a teen, or maybe a niece or a nephew or someone who wants to get involved, Revolution Youth Nights meets every second and fourth Mondays. So we invite you to come and check that out as well. All right. I think actually I am up. So I have got the 5th and final G, which is go. So I need to start the time. You want to go start the timer on me? Just click clear and then just click start. I get 58 seconds. I'll take it. I'll take every bit of that 58 seconds. All right. I want to start by sharing this awesome scripture I found with you. Many of you probably know 2 Corinthians 5:17. If you don't know, once I start to say it, you're going to recognize it right away. It says this. It says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. So many of us know that. Maybe many of us have that even memorized. But do you know what verses 18 through 20 say? Let me tell you. It's awesome. Paul goes on to say, all this is from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us a ministry of reconciliation. Gave us. That is, in Christ, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses, their sins against them, and entrusting to us the message of reconciliation. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ. God making his appeal through us, we implore you on behalf of Christ, be reconciled to God. God has called us to be his ambassadors. You've heard the phrase, God's hands and feet to the world. I want to talk about how we can be a church for a minute who can go outside our walls. When we talk about going, we're talking about doing things outside of this community. We love to connect with God and be in groups and gather. We want to give back to the Lord's work, but we also are called to go and be ambassadors. Dave mentioned some great ways that we've been connecting last year, lots of things to celebrate, the way we've been able to help the orphanage in India, feed people right here in our own community through Salvation Army, Forgotten Harvest, the Go Days that we started last year. Last November, being out there and working with Central Detroit Christian, we were in one of the hardest areas financially that are in Detroit, helping that community just to beautify their parks and clean it. It was such a fun day, seeing the kids there working together. There are so many ways that we can go after that type of work in the community. And while that's great, I want us to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of what we are called to be ambassadors of. We are called to be ambassadors of reconciliation. We want every single person out there, that's our heart, that's our heartbeat here at Paradox. We want everyone out in our community to know Jesus, to enter in a life-giving relationship with him. And we know that happens very seldom do you walk up to someone on the street and say, hey, do you know Jesus? Would you like to know Jesus? Let me share with you my story and my testimony and lead you to a prayer. That just doesn't happen typically. Typically what happens in human relationships is they're built over time. We build up trust and understanding and respect with one another, and then we get to share our story and invite them in. And oftentimes, even to start that relationship, it's helpful to meet a need, to find a need, be it a physical need like food or an emotional need like loneliness that many suffered with this past year, and get together and meet that need, build relationship. That's what it means to go. That's what it means to be missionaries to our community and to go and to lead people to Jesus, one thing at a time. So when we go to Forgotten Harvest, and you're welcome to join us, it's every Monday at the Civic Center, and we provide food. We're providing food, but we're also providing hope. They know that we're Christians. When we go car to car and take their information, we're saying, God bless you. Is there anything we can pray for you? They know that the people who are providing for their physical needs are also are there for their spiritual needs. So my challenge to you is this, is to be ambassadors in your neighborhood, in your work, in your family, maybe through some of the Go Days and the things that we're doing here as a church, but be an ambassador. Don't just go to church. You are called to be the church. Every day is go day when we're going after a relationship with God. And so that's our 5th G, is to go after a relationship with God. If you have any questions about anything that's coming up here at Paradox, again, check out our website. All the events are always listed there. You can always email us at info@paradoxchurch.com. That email goes kind of right to the staff. We review those in our staff meeting. We're there to answer any questions that you have. All right, that's it. We made it through the 5 Gs with very limited punishments. I'm officially stopping the button. Someone stop the button. It's okay, right? If that goes to 0, I'm not going to get a punishment? All right, I'm going to leave and shut off myself then. All right, we are going to invite Dave back up to the stage to kind of give us some closing thoughts. I don't know, should I give him a timer? No, I think we'll let him off the hook, as long as he doesn't go too long. If you go too long, I'm going to put the timer on.
All right. Well, like I said, we have an amazing team here at Paradox. We're thankful for our lead management team and our staff, but we're also just grateful that we get to do this with all of you. It's amazing. I've been in ministry for a while now, and over the course of the last year, I can honestly say that I've never looked forward to and appreciated being with the church as much as I have this year. In so many ways, the last year has woken us up to realities that have always been true. We just shared about a week ago now, something like that, at our racial unity panel, this other word that I feel like God has just been highlighting for us in Ephesians, of waking up to the reality of what is going on in our world, waking up to the reality of who God is and our call as followers of Jesus and the church in a world. And so for a long time, maybe too long, the church has been asleep to many things. And now through 2020, one of the gifts of this year, one of the gifts of COVID, sure, it's been tough, but God has been working. And when God is working, when God's moving, there are good things ahead. And he's waking us up to so many of these realities. And I want to encourage us to live awake this year, to wake up to the reality that God may be calling us into. And if I can't say some of these things here tonight with all of you, our church family, then I don't know where I can say them. And so I just want to directly, passionately challenge all of us here tonight to not stay asleep, to not settle for less than God's best. I can hear Pastor Mike saying something in.
You
Yeah,
didn't. You
there you go.
didn't hear me plotting against you.
Yeah. I did hear that. Anyway, I was passionately preaching, and there you are.
I'm so
caught.
sorry. I was plotting your demise as you were passionately preaching.
I know.
There's
right?
nothing coming. You're safe up there.
All right.
going.
So I just want to challenge us to take those steps. Church, when it comes to our relationship with God, it's not something that we have arrived in. There's always more. And so are we looking and going, God, what else do you have for me? How else can I take another step into your goodness? Maybe for you, that is saying, yeah, I want to grow in prayer this year. I'm going to try out the house of prayer at one point. Or I'm going to say, yeah, you know what? I want to make a prayer list of people. Or perhaps for you, it's Bible study, and you want to jump on to that He Reads Truth and She Reads Truth plan with the rest of us here at Paradox and say, this is the year that I'm going to start reading the Bible. I'm going to grow in my relationship with God. I want to challenge you. Don't just settle. Don't stay comfortable. Take a step. For others of you, when we talk about our gathering G, all right, maybe you would say, yeah, I got a church. I go sometimes. What would it look like for you to say, I want to make sure that I'm there. I want to commit to going regularly, or I want to make sure that I am there on a consistent basis. Or maybe it's time for me to get involved and start serving on a regular basis in some way. Listen, we love you, we want you here, but also the church needs you. We need each other, and the church doesn't exist. We cannot do all the things that we want to do. We can't accomplish God's dreams without the church being the church. We need you. We want you. We love you. We get to be in this thing together. Now is the time to take the land and take a step into serving in some way. It's also the time to get connected. We realized just how much we have depended on the gathering over the course of the last year, and that's a good thing. We loved gathering together. We love worship, but you know what? Life change happens in groups. Connection happens in groups. Care and discipleship happens in groups. And so this is the year. Get involved. Maybe you've tried it before. You never have tried it before. There are groups all over the place. We want to start new groups. We want to start groups in the north, out in Farmington, wherever it is. We want to see new groups form because those are the places that we can't get to from here in Warren, but God has put you there. And perhaps it's for such a time as this. Even with giving, perhaps you give occasionally. What would it look like for you to move to a regular giver or a consistent giver, or maybe even to move beyond your comfort level and go, you know what, I'm going to increase by a percentage or become sacrificial and generous. None of us knows what generosity looks like. Generosity really has to do with the amount of sacrifice it is for you. And so this is a question that Gwen and I consistently go back to. Are we being generous, or are we just staying comfortable? We want to keep on moving, and then we want to keep on moving out of here. We want to go. And so one of the greatest ways, I know right now it's like, well, how do you go on international mission trips or anything? And we're planning for that. We're looking forward to that. I'm really excited. We are going to be having a World Mandate. Some of you guys loved that last year. World Mandate is going to be here again. We're planning for October, all right? So look ahead to that. It's coming. We cannot wait to launch our mission trips and some of our missions initiatives this fall with all of you. But you don't have to wait. Right now, God has planted you in a neighborhood. He's planted you in a work environment. He has put people in your life that I can't reach, that Pastor Mike or Pastor Greg can't reach, but you can. You have a story. You have influence. And what would it look like for you to start to bless them? In the coming weeks, you're going to hear about a new initiative. It's called the Bless Your Block. And we would just encourage people to go out and be a blessing. Here's what that stands for. Begin with prayer. Start praying around your neighborhood. Take walks. Pray for people on the regular. Even when we're doing nothing by prayer, God is doing something, and He's taking the ground. So start there. The L stands for listen. Yes, sometimes it starts with listening, hearing somebody else's story, engaging in conversation, understanding where they are coming from. The E then is eat. So many good things happen around tables. We've missed that in 2020. Make plans to do that with people outside safely, if that's what you need to do. But get some food together, and then you get to serve them in some way, and finally share. Invite people into the story of God. Invite people into your group. Invite them to an event. Invite them to church. So many people are simply waiting for an invitation. And all it takes is for one person to take a step and say, hey, I see you. God loves you. Why don't you come with me? What would happen if we started to dream dreams like that? Pray prayers like that. Fight for the hearts of people and God's purposes here in our area and around the world in 2021. I think that we would start to see so much land taken. And that's what I want to pray for us as we headed into this year. Would you pray with me? Father God, we thank you that this is your work, that you do the heavy lifting, that you have plans for us that are greater than even anything that we can ask or imagine. And you invite us to simply take steps with you. I pray for our leadership team. I pray for our staff, God, that we would continue to keep our eyes fixed on you, our senior pastor, our leader, our warrior. You fight our battles, God, and all we need to do is be still and follow you. God, I pray, though, that as we look to you, that you would give us clear direction as a church family for where you want to lead us, for the land that you are giving us, God, and that you would give us the confidence, the boldness, the everything that we need, God, to simply take those steps, to follow you wherever you lead. God, I just want to pray that you would take land in people's hearts this year. That areas of our lives that were formerly not given to you, God, you would start to invade and soften hearts, God, and that we would finally say, yes, I give my whole self to you because you're good and you can be trusted. God, I pray that you would take land in relationships, in marriage, that you would take land in our hearts, God, and that we would be people that don't just come as we are, God, but then also don't stay as we are. That we would allow you more lordship in our lives. More of you, God. More holiness, because you're good, and you are our reward. Father, I just pray for every person that we don't even know yet. I pray that you would be working ahead of us, God, taking ground in our neighborhoods, taking ground in our workplaces, God, so that when we take a step of faith, God, we would just be met with awe and wonder at everything you have already been doing in their lives. And everything that we didn't do. God, I pray that we would be just amazed at how you multiply our steps and turn them into miles. Father, I pray that you would make us a generous people, that we would open up even this area of our lives, that we would take ground in debt, but so that we could not buy fancy things or planes for Paradox, God, but that we would be able to take ground for your kingdom, partner more fully with local areas, churches, God, plant new ones, invest in our region, see more of your kingdom come, God, impact the nations. We want these things, God. Would you expand our boundary places? Would you expand the place of our tent? Would we take ground for your kingdom? By generosity and stewardship of everything that you've given to us, trusted us with, to use for you and your kingdom and your purposes here on earth, God. We love you and we thank you. Would you meet us in this place, in our hearts, and in this year as a church family? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. As we head to the close, thanks, Dave. We got a couple questions that came through that we want to answer, but first, I have to publicly ask for your forgiveness. While you were giving us, I was plotting to hit you with the leaf blower from the back, and that how low down and dirty. So here's this is an act of contrition. I would love for you to please hit me with. I deserve this punishment.
All right.
In the face. I'm gonna block the microphones.
You want me to hit you with the sled or with this?
No. You're gonna shoot that in my face.
I'm pretty sure you said hit me in the face with this.
You can do whatever you want. Just let me block this microphone before you do it, because I don't want stuff in the microphone.
Do I just
You just
press the button?
You do it. You get me.
All right.
Go.
Somebody want to give me a countdown? 3, 2. What was that? I don't even know what was in there. Yeah.
It was flour.
Get some Marilyn Monroe
Am
action
I white
going.
or no?
Woo!
Did it work? I don't feel any different. Am I like ghostly white?
Not really.
Oh, well, that stinks. That's
Yeah.
no good. I'll drink
That's
the
great.
I'll drink the not cocoa.
All right, you don't have to self-flatulate up here.
No, actually, this is good
It's
stuff.
fine.
It's cocoa
So-
and Pepsi with some hot sauce. So
We do have a couple of questions, and I just want to encourage a few more. If you need to get going, get kids to bed or something, get ready for school, you can go ahead. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. There's a couple of questions, just a few of the things that we're looking forward to over the course of the next year. I already mentioned World Mandate. We have been talking about our racial unity panel. That's not something that we want to just do once and then let go of. The people that you saw up here, Fikre, Wayne, Juwan, we're talking about, hey, what does it look like for us to do more together, continue this conversation, and even this week got confirmation that we were going to be able to bring in a pastor from Oklahoma named Clarence Hill. He's going to come in and share with us probably this April, so be looking forward to that. We're planning a marriage weekend right here at Paradox again. The first one was such a success that we said, hey, we want to do this again. So we are planning that for March. Get ready, because that's going to be amazing. How's that taste?
It's great.
The not cocoa.
I was generous. When you talk about being generous, I was generous with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
It adds something.
We're planning a Go weekend for May. There's one question about will there be a stateside mission trip for kids? Right now, we're pressing pause on a lot of our going to places, and we think, you know what, is that a bummer? Yeah, that's a bummer. But what is God doing in the midst of that? So we know that God has us here, and because we've been here and committed to being here, we've seen God just bring new partnerships into our lives and into our church. And so we don't have any plans for a going away mission trip for the kids or for adults right now in 2021. It's just way too hard for us to plan. But as I just mentioned, Go Days, the Go Weekend, we want to just be opening those things up to the next generation and saying, come on, come with us, come and be a part of that. So we're looking forward to the students being a part of so many of those local things that we are engaging in here as a church community, and for you to be involved in those as well.
And one thing I was just thinking as you're saying that, I'm thinking about, and I agree, and we're gonna keep it to the Detroit area pretty much for this year, just for obvious reasons. But most of the opportunities that have come to us to go and really dig in and serve someone, meet a need, share the gospel with people, have been brought to us. I can't think of too many times where myself or someone, like, we hear about opportunities and then we go after them. So I'm going to put it back to the church. This year, if there's opportunities around in Warren and the surrounding areas for us to serve, maybe there's an organization that you work with. Bring them to us. Let's talk about opportunities to meet those needs. I think of all the things that we've been doing through free outreach and whatever. Those all have been ideas that were brought first to us. And I mean, it's not like we alone have some direct line from God and this is what the church is going to do. So let's help us find and identify those needs. So we're looking at the screen and we're ready for any other questions. Greg and the whole team is still here. So if there's any questions about kids or giving or groups or anything, it is wide open at the moment.
Just a question. One of the things that we often get is questions about things that are going on. We'll often hear, oh, I had no idea, or anything like that. So we've been really trying to utilize that Connect card for all things. When you fill out that Connect card, that's going to put you into the system, and you get to pick. It's like choose your own adventure. You know, if you just want the newsletter that I've started sending out on a weekly basis, that's okay. We can just hook you up with that, and you'll get some weekly resources and additional thoughts, practical applications from me. If you want text messages, they're there. And so many of those things, again, they go back to that Church Center app. That is really how we're going to start communicating, because we know everybody's got these things in their pockets, and that is the easiest and best way for us to be in communication and stay connected with you. So if you can use that to talk with us, even if you have prayer requests, if you have a need or something, we can't serve you as the church if we don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And we've seen way too many times people lose connection, lose touch, fall away, not have a need met simply because we never knew. So please, help us help you. Let us know how we can keep you connected by connecting with us.
I love that the question that was coming up, how do I get involved in production or journey? You were literally answering as that came up, the connection card. Like,
Yeah.
that's the way to go. Or you can always call Dave directly, day or night, 586. Should I go on?
You can call, but there's not going to be an answer.
Okay. Okay. Just any other questions? Any questions here in the room? Anything to share? Last thoughts here in the room from anyone? All right then. All right. Vision Night 2021 in the books. All right. We love you guys. Paradox Church, you are oh, wait. Oh, thank you for that nice message. I thought that was an emergency question coming up.
Nope.
Paradox Church, you are loved. We will see you on Sunday, either here in person or online. Thanks.